Good evening. It's been a day. It's been a long day, and we have reached the end of another day. Another Monday. Mondays are great, aren't they? Start of a new week, start of a whole new repetition. You only get 4 weeks in a month and 30 something days. So, each day is relatively pretty important. It's only a few hundred in a year. Like, sure, you can toss a few of them away and just give up on the days, but if you do that too often, it'll add up and, you'll be counting weeks that you've thrown away. Eventually, by the end of the year, you might be counting a month or two that you threw away. But it all starts with a day. You know, when shit hit the fan, or whenever shit hits the fan, a common saying is like, "Oh, we're just taking it day by day." Or, yeah, I'm just taking it day by day. And you know, it's all right. It's kind of a cope saying that, each day it is what it is. And it's like, none of the days are too important. I'm just taking it day to day. But I guess there's also the other side of that, which is kind of like that, if you're taking it day to day, but taking each day very, very seriously, then that's that sounds good, like a good thing to do. Like if you're taking it day by day, but in a positive sense, like that sounds beneficial. So all that to say that there's two meanings to taking it day by day, I guess. There's taking it day by day where you're just allowing each day to pass and not giving much thought to each one and not giving any importance to it. And then there's taking it day by day where you are fully aware of how important each day can be for you and how much can happen. Like, I've always had, I've always had trouble with friends. And really, just about everybody in my life. But like I was gonna say, like I've had trouble making friends, and part of that is because, like, I've always been scared of losing them. Before I even have a good friend, I'm scared I might lose them by saying something they don't like. I've always been scared that my words would get me into trouble. That, like, the thoughts in my head are not wouldn't be accepted by others. And I've always been scared that if I shared a lot of the thoughts in my head, that, I'd be shunned in a way, and people would think differently of me. Like, I'm talking like this goes way back since I've been, like, a child. Always was scared to speak my mind or just say plainly the thoughts I was having. Even when asked a question, like, I'd worry about my answer. But it does affect all my personal relationships in my life because, you know, all your family members are in a sense your friends. It's a different kind of friend. It's one that can't necessarily get rid of you. So, you can feel a sense of safety around your family members. You can sometimes feel like you can speak your mind, say whatever you want because they're not just your friends, they're your family. And, you hope that your family accepts you for who you are and what you think and does not judge you or ever want to cut you out of their life based on that. You hope that. You hope to get that from family. I know that not all families are like that. Some families are very, very judgmental, very strict, you know. Of course, there's cultures out there that will literally shun you from their society. Like, take Amish, for example. If you go against their code, like, you will be shunned. And I know in, like, Amish society, like, being shunned is like they're not kicking you out, but you're just almost ignored. Like, you're not a part of them. You don't get to be included. And it's almost like you're not like you don't exist. So then people want to just leave the community. But that's hard. But I think there's a lot of families out there that, in a sense, shun their other family members based on their, whatever it may be. Like, there's families that get into big arguments about politics and they'll ignore or shun people based on their political views just because it's some hold that, like, so strongly, like, at a high pedestal that, that's that's a bad one, but, like, think that I'm sure some families would, you know, not want to associate themselves with a family member that, say, believes in flat Earth or, you know, like, just out there theories. P Like, if you say gravity's not real, if you say space isn't real, if you say that we're not living on a spinning ball. Okay, Fabio, fine. Be that way. Like, I'm sure there's families out there that would shun you for saying things like that. This is a rock. Smells like a rock. It's a special rock to me. I love this rock. It's a very good rock, and I hope to never lose it. I know I can always go get another one. I just really like this rock. You know, I'll always remember the day that I found this rock, that I took this out of the earth. You know, today has been filled with anger and sadness and, other emotions as well, but a good bit of anger and sadness. And both of those emotions are, they're kind of two sides of the same coin type of thing. They're tied to the same balance point. They're opposites of each other, and yet they kind of are each other, and they act in very, very similar ways. I was talking to Gary yesterday, like when you're angry, he said, like, you go red with anger. I think that was the saying. Or like you just see red, meaning that the anger is just so consuming that all you see is, what you're fucking angry about. It just narrows your field of view so fucking narrow that all you can see in your mind's eye, all you can see like in front of you is really just what you know that you're angry about. Doesn't matter what you're doing. And that's what's really hard. with like your imagination controlling your mind's eye. Because when you're angry, it doesn't matter what you're doing sometimes, like what set setting you're in, whether you're at the gym or chilling in your room or taking like you're just doing whatever, but in your mind's eye you have this image or this thought that, you know, can be consuming, and the anger just fills it's created from that image, and it's hard to get away from. And it's the same with sadness. Sadness is very similar to anger in that way, where it does narrow your field of view. It's very hard to think about anything outside of that, anything outside of what is currently, making you sad. And I think, you know, classic saying is like feeling blue, right? Like you're blue, you're down, you're sad. So that would make sense of that being the opposite of anger. You're either blue and sad or you're red and angry. And they are like they're like the same fucking thing. Like, cause there's times when you're sad and you can be angry. And when you're angry, you can be sad. And they feel so similar sometimes. And they're only separated by a very, very fine line, which is the balance point at the center of the fulcrum. So, like, what is that? What would be the balance point between anger and sadness? First thought is that it would be acceptance, but like I feel like acceptance is used for a lot of things. So I wish there was something better than that. But maybe that's what it is. It could be. You know, there's all these singularities that are split in dualities, and each half of a duality is its own singularity that is split into a duality, and this just goes on for infinity, literally. So you could just talk on and on and on about the dualities inside each singularity, and the how each one is its own singularity, and then that has its own duality, and on and on and on. Where does it fucking lead? I don't know. Maybe to better understanding of the world. Maybe it leads to having a better grasp on, the way we use our words and the way we understand concepts and think. I mentioned I was having a conversation with Gary yesterday, and we were talking about how the universal language can just bring a conversation to a full stop at any point. At any point. So he asked me to make a statement. First thing I thought of was that I said, women shouldn't be comedians. And he said, well, they should and they shouldn't. And it's like, okay. Like, how do you argue that? You can't argue that. So we talked some more, and eventually I kind of realized that what that does, like using statements like that are kind of like the embodiment of the universal language, saying something like, well, it is and it isn't. Like, what that does, if somebody's trying to make a statement, or if you're just in some type of conversation with somebody and you say that, like, what that does is kind of just dissolve the ego. It makes it damn near impossible to argue anymore, to try and put your ego into the conversation and fight for one side, because it isn't like, I'm trying to think of an example so that you can have something that you're picturing when I say it is and it isn't. But just know that applies to everything. Like, I'm tired right now. I should go to bed. Well, you should and you shouldn't. And like, when you say that, there's two sides to reason through that are, they're equal. And you can use reason and logic to work your way through each side. I should go to bed because I'm tired. I am supposed to get, 8 hours of sleep. That's good for me. I have to get up early for work tomorrow, so I should go to bed early and get my sleep. But I shouldn't go to bed because I'm doing this right now. I'm streaming, I'm talking, I'm getting my thoughts out, I'm doing what I enjoy. I don't want to go to bed right now. I want to keep talking. I shouldn't go to bed. I should just keep doing what I'm doing. And you can't your ego cannot exist in a world, or just like, your ego can't exist and it cannot fight for two sides at the same time. I think your ego always wants to latch on to a single viewpoint, a single argument that you feel like you can keep hammering down on. Like you can just keep doubling back and or double down and keep pushing forward on that one side. That's what your ego wants to do. But if you're faced with it is and it isn't, or you should and you shouldn't, or it was and it wasn't, like what do you say to that? What can your ego argue at that point? It can't, because you yourself are forced to take a step back from whatever it is that you're thinking, reevaluate your thinking by using reason and logic to go down both paths of it is and it isn't, and then, you know, deciding how to take another step forward. But you have to take a step back when you're faced with, it is and it isn't. So, you know, the earth is flat. Well, it is and it isn't. What you see around you, everything that your eyes can see is flat. This is true. You cannot see a curve. It doesn't exist in your eyes, in your mind. Or, it exists in your mind because of all the programming and whatnot. But in your eyes, what you see in the world, it does not exist. There is no curve that you can see, only flat. So the earth is flat. But it isn't flat because, well, for one, society accepts that it's a spinning ball, and we're told that it is a globe floating in space, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Like, that's what we're told to accept. That's what we're told is science. And it's also part of the fact that we don't know. Like, we cannot actually say that the earth is flat. We can say that what we see is flat. That's the side of it is flat. Like, everything you see, 100%, is flat, level ground. Yes, there's mountains and valleys, but, take a step back, see the bigger scale of it, and you'll see it's just, there is none of that jazz going on. But it isn't, because we cannot make that claim, and we're also told that it is a spinning ball with curved water floating in space. Like, that's what we've grown up with for, better part of 100 years. That's what everybody who was born has only ever known. But it is and it isn't. So can you say it goes the other way too, saying that the earth is a This is a ball with curved water floating in space. Making that claim, you say, well, it is and it isn't. It is because that's the image that is in every human's mind, damn near, because it's been planted there. The seeds have been grown, and you can't get it out. You're always going to have that image in your mind because it's just been ingrained in there. Like, you'll never get it out of there. So it is a spinning ball with curved water floating in space in our minds, but it isn't based on what you can see, what objective reality is that your eyes can see. It's just not. But in your mind, it is. So, tricky business. And, it goes for everything. It really does. Gary could just sit here for hours and come up with hundreds of examples and just work through how each one of them is and isn't. Like, because it's just the universal language. There's no disputing it, really. There's no arguing it. It just is. And it isn't. Both exist at the same time. See, this is the downtime where I want to be like making some noise with something else other than my mouth, It'd be nice to have some type of instrument. Well, I don't know. Oh, yeah. I was inspired by Big Bear to take my first bath, and you know, like it's my first bath in a good while, a very good while. The last bath I've taken was like an ice bath, to that was probably like at least a year ago. And that was just to, do the ice bath, cold exposure stuff. But I just took a nice, relaxing hot bath to cleanse myself instead of a shower. And, I thanked the water for cleaning me, for providing me its cleansing properties and allowing me to clean myself. Thank your water. Be grateful for it. And he made a good joke about how, like, if you're taking a shower, you can't fucking thank your water. Like, it's just like coming down on you, and you're like, fuck. But like with a bath, it's just calm and soothing. It's one body of water that you are a part of, you know? But with the shower, it's just like, fuck. It's just like hitting you and then falling off and like going down the drain. And it's just like a constant stream. And it's just chaos, pure chaos. And then the bath is just order. Like it's just one body of water. That's what you get. And you're cleaning yourself with it. And it's just, it's nice. It is nice. I gotta say. There, I admit it. There's something to it. I am one bath in. Like I've taken my first real bath in what has been a very long time, and I am. I'm not gonna say I'm convinced that like I want to just take baths now instead of showers, but I will say that there's something to it. There's definitely something to it. It's nice. It's relaxing. You feel good coming out of the bath compared to coming out of the shower. Like it's a whole different feeling. He said that it was good for your lymphatic system. Like I don't know, but I believe him. You know, I know ice baths or cold baths are really good, so it makes sense that hot baths are also good for you. Like it's not just one or the other. Like I should probably take a cold bath too. I should probably get up tomorrow morning, draw myself a nice cold bath and get in. Because it's I've I've been trying to do like cold exposure recently, but it's been hard. I've been finding it really hard to do the cold showers. Something about it that's just, it's the chaos of the shower and it's only hitting the one side of the body at the time and you have to keep moving. Like it's not good. But, I can see how having that order of the single body of water to get into, of cold water, would be, easier to handle in a way. You're just getting in the water one time, and it's only that water that you're going to be in. It's not like a constant stream of water hitting you. So, in a perfect world, I would wake up with my alarm at 7 in the morning tomorrow, not hit snooze once, because I usually hit snooze like fucking 2 to 3 times usually. And they're 10-minute snoozes. And, like, I'd probably be better off if I didn't hit any snoozes. So, in a perfect world, fuck me, I would wake up with my alarm, not hit snooze, get out of bed, and fucking, I don't know, like do some push-ups, do some stretching, some shit, something that I never do, but I know that is good for me. And then head to the bathroom, turn on the cold water in the bathtub, and let it start filling up. And, as the water's filling up, I would like do a round of Wim Hof breathing. Like the cycle of 30 breaths of like and then you do the breath hold with no air in the lungs. And then you go like and tighten. I haven't done breathing exercises in a good while. I've been trying to do the cold exposure. There was a there was at least a good week stretch where I was doing a cold shower in the morning, like, every day, and I actually kept up with it. That was, like, last week, or, like, less than a week ago. It's gotten hard, like, the past few days, but in that time, I haven't done any breathing exercises. And I don't really know why, like, I enjoy the breathing exercises, I do. They make me feel good, and they make me feel ready and confident to either deal with the cold, if I'm doing it before that, or to just continue on with my day. I feel calm and centered after doing it. So, like, no matter what, when I'm doing it, it just brings me to a better state of mind to handle the day. So, I don't know why I haven't been doing that. I should. I really should. So, yeah, in the perfect world, as the water is filling up in the bath tomorrow morning, I would just sit there, either on the ground by the bathtub or on the toilet, and do a round of breathing, listening to the water as it fills in the tub. And then, by the end of a round of breathing, the bath might be half full or close to full. If it's less than half full, I could do a second round. Or I could just do the one round and then wherever the bath is at, just jump, hop in, sit in there, and be aware of the cold. Accept it for what it is, that it's cold water and that you're sitting in it and that you're okay. And just breathe. That's all you can do. Just acknowledge the cold, know that you're okay, and just breathe. And hell, if I did that, you know, I there's no way I wouldn't be able there's no way I wouldn't be ready for the day after that. Like, I'd get out of that bath and, you know, dry off, let my body warm itself up, and then get ready for work. It's gonna be another real cold day out there. It was fucking 0 degrees today. It was insane. Luckily, I wasn't outside for, like, more than an hour probably during work. But fuck, the time I was out there, like, whew, it's just like stiff jaw, everything's red, like, snot is just it's bad. It's bad. So, yeah, I that would be my perfect way of getting ready for work, just by taking that cold shower, or not a shower, a bath, because baths are better than showers, allegedly. And then I'd go to work. I'd come home at lunch, probably buy a rotisserie chicken or something, eat a bunch of that, have some kimchi with it. Kimchi's good, it's got that fermentation. It's good for you, and it tastes good too. It goes good with a lot of stuff. Then, I'd go back to work until 5 in the evening. I'd come home, eat a snack, go to the gym, come home, and then, see, on the days I work, that's my routine for the most part, and it gets to that point where I come home from the gym and it's like, "Fuck, I don't know what to do now." That is my point in the day where there is instability and unassuredness of, what I should do. I mean, it's a little bit later than that because I'd come home from the gym, have supper, and then I would theoretically draw myself a warm bath and then do that, chillax, you know? That's what I did this evening after supper. Had a nice, relaxing, warm bath, and I enjoyed it. I did. I really did. But then it's usually after that point, whether I'm showering or if I decide to take a bath. It's after that point, which is usually somewhere around 8 o'clock, that I don't know what to do. It's like, okay, should I continue listening to podcasts and YouTube videos, whatever? Should I should I watch something on TV? Should I play video games, which I haven't done in a while? In a perfect world, I would probably decide to, after my nice relaxing bath, I'd probably get out, put on some comfy clothes, probably make a cup of tea and sit down with a book and read for like an hour. That would be ideal. It would, be good for my brain. It would wind down. It would, that would probably be an ideal option. And then, say, by 9 o'clock, I would be done reading. But then it's like, okay, what do I do then? Okay, I've killed another hour of doing reading. What do I do after that? What I don't know. See, this is my problem. Like every night, I don't know what to do at night. I would, start talking earlier, but I usually like to do that late at night when everybody's asleep, or like when my mom goes to bed. Because then I feel like wouldn't, she theoretically doesn't hear me, even though I don't know. I don't know if she does or not. I feel like I'm being mostly quiet though. with the door closed, like, I doubt she can hear that much. So, you'd think, actually, if I wanted to start talking at 9 or 10 at night when she's in the living room watching TV, like, there's even less of a chance that she hears me talking, you know? I don't know. I guess I'm kinda stupid. I guess I'm kinda stupid. So, I guess, in that perfect world, after I read for an hour and have my cup of tea, I would either start doing this or I would instead, you know, talk to Gary because, he's always available. I can always hit him up. I thought I might, I thought I should have called him earlier today, but then, like earlier tonight when I had downtime, but then I don't know, I didn't. I talked to him for 2 hours last night. Like it was, we just sit here and talk. Like we have good conversations every time. Like they're always good conversations and they always can go on for like an hour or two effortlessly. So like I can always call him, talk to him for an hour or two. That would take me from like 9 to 10 or 11. I usually uh, I usually like to have my last bit of food by like 10 at night. That's usually the time that I have my nighttime snack. My last food that I eat before bed, which is usually around midnight. So, I like to have an English muffin with peanut butter if we have them. Didn't have any of those today, but we'll get some. My go-to nighttime snack is, like, I've had it many times, is an English muffin, peanut butter, honey drizzled on it, and sprinkle of salt. And then after I'm done eating that, I'll have a cup of frozen blueberries. That's my, like, ideal nighttime snack. It's just enough, it's enough and it's not too little. Like, it's, like, perfect. But then, of course, there's times where, like, I want to, like, eat everything in the kitchen and, like, binge it all. And, there's times I've done that, and, that's not good. There's not. And, tonight, like, there wasn't any English muffins to eat, so all I had was a cup of frozen blueberries at 10, and that was kind of like that wasn't enough. "Hello, one person, you fucking bitch." Um, I was getting ready to be done talking, so if you have anything to say, feel free to say it. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna land this plane. Oh, no. I never know when, like, the digit goes up, I never know if it's, like, some fucking bot or if it's a real person that's, like, legitimately watching this right now. Oh, hi, Rara. I feel like I remember seeing your name before. Is it are are you, are you the one that was, uh we were talking before that one night about, like, flat Earth and shit? I feel like that was you, Rara Avis. I wanna say that was you. Um, yeah, I guess you're late. It is already midnight. I start you're late and I started early. I started at 11, so it's both of our faults. But, any questions, I will I will feel free to ask, and I will ramble off some thoughts. It's fun to do that sometimes. Now there's 2 people somehow. Whoever else that is, you're a fucking bitch. Say hi if you want. Oh, they're gone. Okay. They probably got offended. Um, how you doing, rah rah? Yeah. Me, my day could have gone better, but hitting the end of the day now, it's not bad. I just talked for 56 minutes and that got out all my good and bad thoughts. And now I feel empty in a sense, but like in a good way where I'm not holding on to any more anger or sadness. Yeah, it was a week or 2 ago, I think. Maybe a couple weeks. That was cool when you popped in the chat and we were just, going back and forth for a bit. I enjoyed that. I never really get that, so it was it was really cool. Um, I did, earlier I was talking about globe Earth or flat Earth, and I was relating it to how, if someone claims the Earth is flat, and then, you use the statement, well, it is and it isn't, you know. It is because, you know, all we can see is flatness around us. There's really nothing else. Like, and you can't argue that. That's just pure reason and logic. Everything you see is flat. So, okay, in general, good to hear. I am, I get it. I get it. We're all we're str- I'm struggling with various things as well, and no doubt that everybody is. Not to like take away from your struggles at all, though. Just to say that we're all humans. We're all struggling, but it's good to have other people to just acknowledge your existence, you know? Really? 10 years ago? Yeah. I'm only like a year in. So, and like, my view on it is still like I don't know anything essentially. Like I don't claim to know anything and I don't necessarily want to say I know anything or I just want to go by what I see and I take what I see as the truth. So, you look out of a plane high up in the sky, thousands of feet, and you see nothing but flatness, well, it kind of makes you think, hey, the earth is flat. What the hell? But then, the earth isn't flat because we've been conditioned to have this image in our mind of a spinning ball with curved water floating in space. And yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter to me either, per se. Like, I know it doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so you got into it in your 20s. Wow. Yeah. It seems like it seems a lot of people, earlier on in life go through some sort of, I don't want to say like an awakening, but like some sort of experience earlier on in life that usually makes them question the world around them, makes them question their reality. And, you know, some of us choose to keep pursuing that feeling of like wondering what the fuck is this? Like, what is this world? What am I dealing with here? And it seems that other people kind of get scared, and they don't want to question. They don't want to feel like they don't know. And they just kind of want to sit back, accept what they're being told, and just roll with the punches. And you can't really fault them for that. It is what it is. There's some people are just made to do that. They're made to not question everything and go against the status quo. But that doesn't mean there's the people that are made to do that. We all have free will. We all have the ability to make our own choices. Everything in this realm is done by choice. That's what I believe. And, your choices can get you into some big messes, and they can get you into some really good situations in life. It's all about the decisions you make that lead you down certain paths. And if you want to, go through life not making decisions, not choosing a path for yourself, like, I don't think I don't think that's good for you. I don't think it's good to be blind to your future and not have a vision. I was kind of like that for a while. I was gonna read that, bro. What? I thought it was something about earlier on in life, questioning. That damn vaccine, though, huh? I don't know why I thought of that out of nowhere, but you know, I have thought for a while though that like there's there was definitely good brought into the world by the pandemic. Certainly, because it did wake some people up to, the things going on around them and in the world, and like the plans being made and the control groups and the narratives. Like, it woke people up to that. It did. At least some of them. And, in a sense, I think that is good. Yes, questioning all has always been my modus operandi. Not sure it makes life easier. Yep, fair. But that's another conversation. Yeah, no, I don't think it makes life any easier. But that's kind of the point also. Like, if you're the type of person that wants to question everything, that wants to not just accept what you're being told by whoever, whether it's your parents or the government or NGOs, anybody trying to push a narrative, if you're the type of person that questions, I think you already know that you're in for a harder life. You know that, like, you're dooming yourself to a life of potential suffering. And that suffering comes in a form of variety, whether it be, being a social outcast and not being accepted by your peers, or whether it be, I know people have lost jobs for questioning the narrative and for not doing what they're told. People have lost family. Like, they've lost relationships, they've lost friends. Like, no, it's not easier whatsoever. I don't think so. I think it is a much harder, more difficult life to question. And that's why it's not for everybody. That's why, as the old saying goes, like, the sheep and the goats will be separated. The sheep will be there always, and they're just going to follow. And then there's the goats, and they're going to fucking, this is hilarious, but I saw a video of I saw a video on Instagram. It was like 10 seconds, but it was like this goat that was like, it hopped up on the back of a sheep to like start fucking it, and then out of the corner of its eye it saw another goat trying to like fuck a sheep, and then it stopped what it was doing to go run over and ram the other goat off the sheep so that it would stop fucking. It was like, yeah, it was hilarious. But that reminds me, Rara, do you know who Owen Benjamin is? Because if you don't, I highly suggest you check out his streams, because they are fucking top tier shit. It's like, I saw someone explain it at one point. It's like truther therapy. Like, it's just like, it helps you return to a sense of reality no matter where you are in your truther journey. It just brings you back to a place of balance. And I started listening to him 6+ months ago at this point, probably. Yeah. 6-7 months ago, I think. I don't know. I'm not trying to do the math right now, but in that time, I've probably, he does a 3-hour stream almost every day. He doesn't stream on Sundays, but he does like 3-hour streams almost every day, and I've listened to most of them, meaning like I've already listened to hundreds and hundreds of hours of him, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And it is just like therapy in a way. It's hilarious. Like he's a comedian, but he's also really fucking smart and knows what he's talking about. And he gives good advice, tells you to live for the good, true, and beautiful, tells you to, at the end of every stream, his saying is, be fruitful and multiply. Don't be fruity and blow a guy. So, like, that's just his way of reiterating his message of, like, one, like, don't be gay. And two, like have a family, because family is wealth. Family is like everything. It will get you so much further than money ever will. Yeah, the comedian, Owen Benjamin. Banned off of like every fucking major platform. But you can find his streams on BitChute, or you can BitChute, Odyssey, whatever. He's on Telegram, but then he's part of unauthorized.tv, where you can, it's just called Owen's live stream, but if you look up Owen Benjamin BitChute, you should see his like a large catalog of his live streams. And then, if you want to in the future like support, oh yeah, dude, it's fucking great. When I found him, like when I found the live stream, I had no idea who the fuck he was. Like I did not know his past. I did not know he used to be a comedian. I just found him and I thought he was like some crazy motherfucker just rambling on the internet for 3 hours a day. And I started listening and I was like, damn, this guy's got some good points. He's kind of smart. And then I started, whether it was him talking about his past or like me looking him up and finding things out, like I found out about like who he was and that he used to be, or like, he is a comedian, but he used to be like a comedian in Hollywood and all that jazz. And I was like mind blown. I was like, what the fuck? How did I come across this? I don't know. Great shit though. Love the dude. In like, the way that you just genuinely love a human being. But yeah, he's part of unauthorized.tv, and I sign up for that. It's $5 a month, and you're just feeding the bear. $5 a month, you get access to his whole catalog of streams. It's great. All right, I'm glad I turned you on to it, and I hope you find it, because that just means I've done my good deed for the day. And hey, it's past midnight where I am, so that counts for tomorrow, right? Or like when I wake up, like I've already done my good deed. If I could suggest his stream to one person every day and like do my best to convince them to listen to him, to just like try and listen to one of his streams, like One, like, that would make me happy. It would make me feel like I'm doing something beneficial for the person I'm telling and for Big Bear because, he needs listeners. That's his job, to talk for 3 hours every day. And, I would know deep inside that, like, what I'm doing is good because I know that his message is only good, true, and beautiful. Like, it's only bringing good into the world. So I need to fucking try and do that more. I don't know why I don't. Well, because I'm socially anxious and I have a hard time speaking my thoughts. And that kind of brings it full circle. So I'm glad you popped in for a bit, rah rah. It was good seeing you. Uh, yeah. Have a good night. Don't be a bitch.